Welcome back to The Truth is Viral Live. My name is Bob Powell, and we are bringing you continuing coverage of the federal siege of the Bundy Ranch in Bunkerville, Nevada. My guest Pete Santilli and I were just opining about that. Bunkerville, Bunker Hill. Yeah. So, Pete, tell me what's going on out there in Bunkerville, Nevada, brother.
Cliven Bundy's been battling this thing with the Bureau of Land Management, this mysterious agency that came into his lives. He started his business in 1877, the family did. But the past 20 years, the federal BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, has tried to exert its authority over him, his business, and let's put it this way, he owns his own ranch in Nevada. But that ranch sits on a 600,000 acre parcel that is owned by the state of Nevada. So he allows his cattle to graze on the 600,000 acre parcel.
It's public land.
Pardon me?
It's public land. Anybody can use it, right?
Public land. It's owned by the state of Nevada. The federal government manages it through the BLM. They don't have any ownership whatsoever. And 20 years ago, they wanted to start collecting fees. He was paying fees, I think, at a certain point, but he stopped when he found out that only 12 to 16% of his fees were going towards land usage. So he said, I'm going to pay the state of Nevada. I don't even recognize this entity that won't even use my money, without sending it to Washington, D.C. So he sent a check to Nevada. The BLM said, okay, you stop paying fees. We're going to go ahead and essentially secure the property, and we will recover all of your cattle. And about a week and a half ago, they started stealing cattle by court order. We received a court order. The federal government, through the BLM, they gave BLM the enforcement authority to go in there and steal his cattle, his branded personal property, his business property, and take all of that cattle and have it corralled up, and they've been taking it out to auction. Okay? We believe, he believes, everyone believes that the federal government, first of all, has been acting tyrannical. In this instance, it's in full display. We have hundreds, 1,000 plus BLM, Bureau of Land Management rangers in hopped up, shiny, brand new DHS vehicles. It says Ranger on the side of it. It sounds harmless, as if they were picking up cigarette butts at the local park. But in fact, they're DHS vehicles.
Right. Well, let me point out that when I went to the Bureau of Land Management website, I looked at their employee numbers, and they've only got 270 full-time employees. So unless they have every single one of their employees and their clones and their doppelgangers over there, then they've got help from other federal agencies. And if they don't have help from other federal agencies, then these guys that are in these Bureau of Land Management uniforms are not federal agents at all. And I believe that that is the case because the video that you shot the other day when your strike team stopped those vehicles from coming out of the hills, at least 3 of those goons that stopped you guys had full beards. Now, according to the hygiene standards of federal law enforcement, full beards are not allowed. So that's telling me that these guys are more than likely private military contractors from Halliburton, XE, KBR, something like that. So what are you thinking about that?
It's not even a matter of thinking. We have confirmed through the Bundy family, they know local law enforcement. Local law enforcement has had discussions with BLM authorities who have indicated that there is hired contract help, former special forces operatives that are not only highly trained, highly skilled in utilizing the surveillance equipment, but also the armament that they've got out there. They're pretty well gunned up, I'm going to say that much. They have high-tech surveillance, including visual and auditory surveillance equipment dispersed throughout the area. They've got people with some pretty hopped up binoculars that they're using to surveil big scopes. They're up in the hills. Do they look like snipers? Well, they have weapons and they have scopes, and therefore at that distance I'm sure they would be a pretty good shot. especially if they were in special forces. This is confirmed, not a conspiracy theory. This is the truth. BLM likes to conceal who they have working on their staff. I know for a fact that there's a different look between a special forces guy from the military, okay, and a corporate mercenary, and some of these skinny guys with beards running around with dogs. Okay,
all right.
There's a difference. There's a difference between the look of a regular BLM guy, who's just not of that caliber of the type of people that they have out there willing to shoot people.
Yeah. Have you seen Lon Horiuchi? Lon Horiuchi is the FBI agent that shot Vicki Weaver in the face while she was holding her baby. And instead of being charged with her murder, the federal government instead sent him to Waco, Texas, where he racked up a higher body count, shooting people as they ran from that burning building. So if you see an Oriental gentleman with a rifle and a big scope anywhere near you, that's Lon Horiuchi. He's a government-paid assassin. You need to stay to stay away from him. But how many snipers have you seen out there? What kind of force are you rating at?
I've seen lots of pictures of them. Okay, I've seen plenty of pictures from the family. They've actually had them posted at our base camp. And I've also seen probably 2 or 3 myself up in the hills, and I have very appropriately placed my big middle fingers high into the air up to the hills, especially because they have good scopes. I want to make sure they get a good clear shot.
Yeah, well, you might want to drop trowel. Well, I don't know. That's kind of cruel and unusual punishment, even for them. But so, how about offensive weaponry? Have you seen anything like MRAPs, armored personnel carriers, acoustic active denial systems, anything like that?
You know what? What I do know is that they have fully loaded SUVs. They've got surveillance equipment, pretty high-tech stuff in their SUVs. These are and they're not. Doesn't say DHS on them. These are DHS SUVs, brand new ones. GMCs, big fat Tahoes. I mean, the works. And in the hundreds and hundreds of vehicles. Bobby, I looked at an overflow parking lot, Holiday Inn Express off of exit 120 off the 15 freeway. Go up the hill. You're going to see, personally witness, 250 plus vehicles, SUVs, that are typically staffed, that they don't drive around in them solo. They've got teams in there. Okay? So personnel-wise, by the way, that's another inconsistency. The number of vehicles, they would not be able to move that number of vehicles with that staffing and still run the BLM.
Okay, so we've got about 1,000 bad guys there. What is the good guy situation look like so far? First, I want to know about the protesters. How many civilian protesters are we seeing at the ranch? And then I want to know about the militia, because I know that they're coming from all over the country to defend these great American patriots, the Bundys.
Yeah, they are. I mean, just as, you know, I'm not a militia member, and you're not a militia member. I mean, we would go there in the same spirit. And in fact, I greeted the militia members that come to our compound, and they're there to help out, man. And they're willing to flip burgers. They're willing to do anything. Take out the trash, and they're essentially exactly who we are. Except they're, you know, better armed than some people that may come from California, for instance. But these guys are prepared, because it's okay to back up our peaceful interests and demands, our lawful and constitutional demands, that if we are brutalized, we must defend ourselves, I guess, especially because these guys are so overarmed, as far as I'm concerned, for wrestling cattle. Right? They're not out there. You're not out there with an AR and all the surveillance equipment and Tahoes to be out wrestling cattle. Okay? You're wrestling human beings. All right? That's what these guys are fitted up to do. The militia members there's not enough of them. I'm going to put out an all call at this point in time. And I've also seen letters for stand-down orders, removing or retracting all calls from some militia groups, which is ludicrous. This is the one incident that they've all been waiting for. Not to go shoot them up, but to stand and fight and stand and defend, right?
Just to tell the federal government that we have been pushed far enough. Now, I understand that Sheriff Richard Mack is coming out there with the Constitutional Sheriffs and Police Officers Association, as well as Stuart Rhodes of Oath Keepers. Have they arrived yet?
They haven't arrived. They haven't arrived. I've been critical sometimes of Stuart Rhodes maybe not responding to appropriate issues. These standoffs. He has a right to do that, of course. But I applaud him for jumping on this thing. He's all in with this this issue here at Bundy Ranch. Stuart Rhodes and Sheriff Mack should be here tomorrow. Sheriff Mack has formed with a coalition of politicians and constitutional sheriffs and peace officers, and they've all chimed in to essentially tell the BLM they're way out of line, and they certainly are. Now, Bob, this is what I would want. This is the perfect world for me. The number of protesters, number one, is entirely too small. Let's put it this way: the population where I'm at right now, within a 50 square mile radius, has anywhere between 10 to 15,000. Okay, small little town here, right? 10 to 15,000 people. If we had 50% of them, that's a pretty strong force. If we had 50% of the residents in my 50-mile radius get out of their houses and go up and thank all the people that have come in from anywhere from Michigan to West Virginia to Seattle, and just go thank them, you'll cause a traffic jam.
Right.
Okay?
Well,
we don't have those numbers. We have probably, I saw today maybe 400 people.
yeah. Well, that brings up a question. Where are the local people? Because this directly affects them, right?
It does, but they don't understand the issues. It's for instance, if you tell them, about Agenda 21, they're all going to look at you like like you got they want to cut your head off. Of course, they don't understand Agenda 21 issues. When you tell them that the BLM doesn't own the land, they don't understand that. They don't understand. They just think it's too legally complex. But it is a fact that the BLM does not own the land, and the BLM is asserting its authority over the sovereign land of Nevada, and basically bypassing and stomping on the rights of the American people here in this local area. Where are they? They're at home. And the ones that go up to the compound and figure out what's going on, they understand how important it is, and they get to look the people in the eyes and thank you so much for caring about me and my property, okay, and my land around me. Thank you very much for coming out here. You actually care about this more than I do, obviously, because you drove from Michigan.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
You have in the thousands. We would be able to win this thing.
I understand that the local sheriff there, the Clark County Sheriff, Sheriff Gillespie, is a no-account piece of garbage. But what about Governor Sandoval? He has issued statements backing the Bundys. Why hasn't he called out the state patrol to kick the Bureau of Land Management the hell out of the state of Nevada?
Sandoval, okay, could settle the matter. Okay, he could settle the matter. A constitutional sheriff could settle the matter and kick out the BLM. Okay, they could actually pass legislation to reclaim the land from the BLM and kick the BLM out. They could do that. Sandoval wants to ride the coattails of this campaign, this firestorm, okay, of interest. That's what he's doing. He's anchoring his name to this very sensitive issue, but he's nowhere to be found. Okay. He's nowhere to be found. He hasn't shown up. Politicians need to get out here. The mainstream media is doing its job right now. We had probably 15 to 20 satellite charts yesterday, last night. So the mainstream media is doing its job, whereby we would complain, why are you not covering this issue? They are covering this issue.
Finally.
Politicians need to generate interest. The mainstream media generate interest. And when people find out about it, we need to realize how important this is. We must stop the federal government from doing what it's doing, especially in this capacity, in this form. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. So, folks, this is what Pete's been saying for days, and what I'm saying now. We need to get as many people out to Nevada as possible. If you live within driving distance. If you want to get on a plane and fly, go, because the only thing that's going to stop this from becoming another Ruby Ridge, another Waco, is for brave American patriots to stand in between the Bundy family and these assholes that would love nothing more than to murder them. Okay? Now, you folks need to get on the stick. Okay, we're doing what we can.
Bobby, can I share something with you?
Absolutely, please do.
Let me tell you how arrogant the BLM is right now, okay? But first, before I do that, let me tell you how this thing shuts down peacefully. When we had in that incident, that very volatile incident we could talk about just a little bit, we had a riot right out in the middle of one of the roads, okay? Because we outnumbered them, they essentially backed off and they went home. They got in their vehicles and they left. And we outnumbered them. It would happen in the same fashion in the following scenario. We sent 10,000 people to that area. And we essentially went out there and, let's put it this way, go get the cattle. Let's release the cattle into the open range. Let's take the land back and let's demand that the sheriff tell the BLM to leave. We could do this without one punch being thrown, without one shot being fired. It would happen swiftly, peacefully, but it must be done with a show of numbers. We must show our numbers. We don't have that. The BLM now, this is what they told me, and I have this on recording. They left at the small number, and they said, you will all go to jail if you impede us. That's what they said. There's another part of it that's shocking, but we'll reveal some of that in the coming days, some other things that they said. But they left arrogantly, knowing full well that they can control a crowd of about 500 people, right?
Right.
We do not have the numbers. Now, I have personally received, in the past 2 days, minimally 1,000 calls on my cell phone, because I broadcast my cell phone number.
I saw that.
Calls a day. Did you hear about that?
I was the one that told Suzanne about it.
1,000 calls. I mean, my battery dies swiftly. Calls come in like crazy. So anyways, we have a lot of people who are interested in the story. They're very passionate about the story. They're expressing themselves, but they're sitting down tweeting it or Facebooking it or messaging me or calling me. What I want to suggest to everybody, Bobby needs to get out. Bob Powell needs to get out here, okay? It's going to cost him to fly out here. Probably about the same amount as it would cost you to drive out here in fuel.
Exactly.
I want to encourage your listeners, Bobby, to support that effort. Let's get you out there. They will benefit from getting great live coverage from the ground. You need your listeners and your fans need somebody like you that they can trust to get the right information on the ground.
And you need to get some sleep, brother.
Huh?
You need to get some sleep. We need to tag team these bastards. We need to keep them awake, make them worry about where we're coming from.
By the way, tomorrow morning, I have to sleep a little bit. I've been staying up all night. Tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m., I go on Fox and Friends. Okay, so mainstream media is doing their job generating awareness. What's not happening is the American public that complains about tyranny is not resisting it. The American public right now is laying down, and if we lose our rights in this matter, we will do so, and we will do so because it's our fault, because we didn't do anything. All we need to do is stand up and get there, and then say, time for you guys to go home. Let's release the cattle, and it's all over. That's it. We need numbers. There's no doubt about it. We cannot lose this battle. But don't you agree, Bob? We cannot lose this battle.
Absolutely. This is the most important thing that I can think of. Leading up to May 16th, the Operation American Spring. We need to get people aware of that too. It's still going on. We're still hoping to get 30 million people into Washington D.C. on May 16th. But for right now, right this very minute, we need to get people out to the Bundy Ranch. It's just north of Las Vegas in Nevada. I need to get to the Bundy Ranch. I will stand between the Bundys and those federal jackboots. I don't care. Okay, they can take my life. It's not worth anything anyway. So, go to bobpowell.blogspot.com and hit that PayPal button. drop me $20, $50, $100. I've already gotten $300 towards my $1,000 goal so far. Had 7 different people that have donated. One was for $100, another was for $50. The others were for one was for $13. That was really weird. That was an odd number, $13. But you know, whatever you can afford, just you know,
can I offer something?
Yeah, please do. How about $1,000?
If somebody wants to make a $100 distribution or $100 donation, I'll match it. Okay. I want you to do it now. Extremely urgent.
Pete Santilli.
If someone makes a $100 donation, I will match that donation. I don't have the means to do it. I believe that it's that important. I'm going to make sure that I get the means to do it. Bobby, you must get out here. I believe that your loyal listeners and viewers need to have somebody like you, your eyes and ears on the ground for them, because they're starved for the information if they can't get there. Now, anyone in the Pacific Southwest, there have been people that have put off their jobs, okay, gotten in their vehicles and driven out here. I'm one of them.
Well, this kind of is your job, defending the Republic.
Yeah,
so you're just out of the office.
I shut down my show studio. Okay.
Yeah.
We're still broadcasting daily, 10 to 1, but I said enough is enough. I need to get out there. I need to see this for myself, and I need to participate in taking back our country and getting in the face of tyranny and letting it know that we will never, ever, ever relent. We will never let them continue to do what we're doing. If we don't show up, that's saying that we are going to continue letting them do whatever they want. We give them free range, right? Won't we? Yeah. So let's talk about another important topic, and then I have to be on.
Okay. All right, I understand. Tell me what you got going on, brother.
Okay, so for those of you that haven't seen it yet, all right, if you want to know whether or not to donate or to show up here, I want you to go watch the video that's out there. You'll see the title of the video is Ranch Riot. Okay, just type Ranch Riot on YouTube and take a look at that. I think we've gotten 750,000 plus hits. Why? Because I was standing in the middle of a riot, literally. Okay. Why did it turn into a riot? It wasn't because of the crowd. It was because of BLM's refusal to stop and allow a law enforcement investigation into what we believed was the fact that they're euthanizing cattle out in the open range. They're using backhoes and dump trucks as equipment to bury cattle out on the range. They're also corralling and wrestling these herds of cattle too quickly, too swiftly. They're stressing the cattle. Now, another thing is they're leaving their hold on one second, Bob. I got to get this, okay?
Sure.
Sorry, somebody just did the door. Just stand by.
All right.
Okay. I have a listener with me here. He's come up to take a shower.
You are such a nice man, Pete.
I'm going to use this as an example. Here, Ken. Okay. This is a great segue. You want to hear this? This is a listener, longtime listener and supporter of the Pete Santilli Show. His name is Ken. He's from Michigan. He responded to the call from me. This week, here he is.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah, what I say, Bobby?
How you doing, brother? I'm up in Alpena. Where are you from, bro?
I'm from Mount Clemens.
Oh, I used to live in Mount Clemens, 16 Mile and Gratiot.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, if 70-year-old Ken from Michigan can jump in his car, having the means on Social Security, driving 35 hours to get out here, okay? Any one of you can either support Bobby or to get him out there, or you can get out here as well. I'm going to put out an all-call. An all-call meaning that every single patriotic group, every single military group, it's time to roll to do what? To get here in numbers, peacefully, to stand together shoulder to shoulder and overwhelm them and outnumber them and let them know we're not going to relent. The U.S. Constitution is non-negotiable. You will be leaving. The sheriff's department is going to give you the order to leave, or the governor is going to give you the order to leave, and the game is over. And not one shot will be fired. And they can become a part of history, Bobby. They really, really can. This is where we take our stand. The Battle of Bunkerville, okay, is a battle of our numbers, we the people, against a tyrannical government.
Amen, brother. Amen.
All right, back to my story, and then I'll answer any more questions. This is an important story, okay? We believe that they were burying cattle out in the hills.
Right.
I wanted to, and I actually volunteered because I heard everyone was concerned about this. They wanted to send a strike team up into the hills as they were coming down. They were crossing personal property, parcels, on other people's ranches coming out of the hills. They were driving across personal property. They're not allowed to do that, okay? There's no thoroughfare for the federal tyrannical government to come across anyone's ranches. So we wanted to go out there with our strike team and ask them to stop, okay? Allow law enforcement to come there and investigate, okay? Is there blood in those pickup trucks, right? That would be a reasonable thing to pick out. These guys stuck with their foot on the accelerator and tried to blow past us, okay? Putting a lot of people in harm's way, in fact.
Right.
What happened was I went up a road that only one vehicle could traverse, okay? So the nose of my vehicle was going towards the front of the convoy. They pushed their grill up against my bumper, got on their microphones and yelled at me, a lawful order to back up, and I did. So I backed up, and I put my finger out like this, and I said, I need to speak with a supervisor. I think that's how the video begins, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to speak with a supervisor. I wanted to hold that convoy there. They didn't want that. They wanted to basically circumvent the law, all right, and evade arrest, because I wanted to place them under citizen's arrest if I had to. I was prepared to do that.
Yeah, you can do that. Any person, any citizen can make a citizen's arrest as long as the crime for which the arrest occurs is a felony. Now, I like that idea. As a matter of fact, I have wanted to do that so many times. If I ever came close to John McCain or one of these other treasonous scumbags in Congress, I would say, I'm placing you under citizen's arrest. Now, obviously, I couldn't take that senator or representative to jail. But what it does do is it starts a legal process. Once you
hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let me stop you there. Guess what? What you do is you get a constitutional sheriff, okay, and you place that person under citizen's arrest. And they must be required by law. And you better have your stuff together.
Oh yeah.
If it's a false arrest, it's on you.
Yeah.
It's not on the sheriff. Okay?
Right. Where'd you go? You froze.
But
Please, Father, just 5 more minutes.
Possession in audio format. Enough to justify. Pardon me?
I was just uttering a prayer. Said, please, Father, just give me 5 more minutes because you're freezing. Your connection's not so hot. Okay, but you're all right now, so please continue.
We need to start putting people under arrest. They're saying that we can't do that. I'd like to challenge the issue, okay? And I'd like to say that somebody who was sworn an oath to defend and support the Constitution of the United States that refuses to do that needs to be put in jail, okay? They need to go to jail. And if the law doesn't allow it, then we need to change the law.
Right.
There's no accountability for upholding the oath to the U.S. Constitution, is there, Bob?
No, sir. And let me tell you, there are interesting days ahead. Pete Santilli, I want you to go get some sleep. That is a direct order, Marine. And I want to thank you for being on The Truth is Viral, giving us the update. Oh, there's one other question that I had for you. It's a very important one, too. I saw a post on Facebook just before we came on about legal weapons being confiscated at the Bundy Ranch. Have you heard anything about that at all?
No, this is what I will say, though, okay? There is an alternative media. Bobby, I'm going to say this on your show, and I hope you don't mind me doing so. Okay? I'm going to be very blunt, as you know I am.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to call it the way it is. I did not even want to mention this name, but it has gotten so disgustingly apparent that through events that I've been involved in, the trucker event, okay, the same person, Alex Jones, is out.
Yeah, I saw him there in his little red shirt and with his cell phone.
Who?
Alex Jones.
Is Alex Jones at the ranch?
I saw him in a video. I thought I did anyway.
No, Alex Jones isn't at the ranch. This is what's going on with Alex Jones.
Okay.
It happens with every single event. Either, you know, and I'm not going to say that he has nefarious intentions, okay? But during the trucker event, okay, 3-4 days prior to the event, he wanted to publish reports giving everyone every reason not to show up, okay? There was a report that went out today by one of his InfoWars reporter, okay? This is the way it came about, Bob. That Paul Joseph Watson received notification from the ground, their reporter from the ground, that there was no cell phone coverage. And guess how Paul Joseph Watson received that message?
By cell phone?
Via Twitter,
Yeah.
via cell phone.
Yeah.
How's that possible? Okay. So what's happening here? That Infowars.com, okay, I have caught dating all the way back to Y2K 2000, okay? They either make money by causing people to stay home and bite their fingernails in fear and click on his website. Or, I mean, why would you want to keep people away from an event like this? His focus should be on what you and I are doing, encouraging people to get out there, okay? And to do so peacefully. That's what I want to hear from alternative media outlets. We're not getting that. Any false reports that, or any reports that are out there must be confirmed, okay? You can, if you don't mind, this is a cheap, shameless plug, and I know you're going to keep on top of this because this is where I'm going to be posting stuff, okay? Throughout the weekend, I'm going to personally verify this information. You can go to facebook.com/guerrilla media. That's where everyone is salivating over every single message that we're sending out. It's highly credible. We quadruple check. But all of those reports that you were talking about have been either absolutely discredited or have not been confirmed. They shouldn't be out there. I think it's designed to keep people home. This is a family event. They're having a barbecue right now.
Oh, man. I'll bet they've got steak. Steak is good.
Steak, well, unless it's in the Matrix.
All right. All right, Jarhead, get out of here. I love you, brother. Yeah, awesome patriot.
You know, listen, Bob, one last comment, okay?
Yeah.
You guys, I have gone on zero. I mean, I have zero sleep. I haven't had a shower, and I've been doing horse baths, of course. I stay clean. I'm a good Marine.
There you go.
I'm taking the time out right now, pushing past the exhaustion and the lack of showering, to tell your listening audience how important it is that, and I'm talking to every single person. I call it hiding, okay, on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. There's a lot of people that can do that. You can blend in because you get Bob's show for free. This is where you say to yourself, you know what, I can't get there, but I would sure love to get a good reporter on the ground like Bob there that's going to confirm whether or not Twitter's working, okay? Whether or not the cell phone towers are working, whether or not they're confiscating guns. They're not confiscating guns. They're not doing that. You know what I think they're doing right now? They're scaling it down. We have brought this thing to the boiling point at this point, criticality, where through the support of your listeners by getting out there and your viewers by getting out there, we're supporting you. We can literally win this thing by sending a few bucks here and there and sending some people there, paying their gas to get them out here. Okay? The survival of our republic is going to depend on how your people respond to this. So that's why I took this time out. There's no sleeping around that. Okay, Bob, I wouldn't do, I wouldn't be anywhere else, and I hope I see you out here in the next day or two. That's up to your listeners and viewers. Once again, $100 donation, I will match with an additional $100 so we can get you out here. Okay.
God bless you, Pete Santilli. Anybody that wants to donate to this cause, go to bobpowell.blogspot.com. The link is in the description of this video. And don't forget to keep up to the date. I mean, right every single minute with Pete Santilli at GuerrillaMediaNetwork.com and on the Facebook page at Facebook.com/GuerrillaMedia. This man is in the thick of it, and God willing, and the waters don't rise, I'll be there with him on Sunday. So thank you, everybody, for watching The Truth is Viral Live. I appreciate it. God love you guys. Without you, there would be no Truth is Viral. So I'm going to wrap this up real quick and turn it around and start the stream again, and stick around, because this is a marathon. Until I get that $1,000, I am going to continue broadcasting. We're going to talk about all kinds of things, and as updates come in from the Bundy Ranch, I will keep you up to date with that as well. So my name is Bob Powell. As always, God bless, Semper Fi, and hoorah.